before the chains, before the ships, before the world learned to profit from human pain. Africa had kings, not weak men, not beggars, but rulers whose words carried the weight of life and death. Kings whose footsteps were followed by drums, whose shadows commanded loyalty, whose names were spoken with pride. This is not the story of strangers stealing Africa. This is the story of what happened when some kings lost their way. It begins in the heart of West Africa, in a kingdom called Canberra. The land was rich. The rivers fed the soil. Children laughed freely, and elders died honored. At the center of it all sat King Zabiru III, a man raised to believe that a king existed only to protect his people. He loved his people once. Truly, as a young ruler, Zabiru walked among farmers without guards. He listened more than he spoke. When he promised the ancestors that no foreign chain would ever touch Canberra, the elders wept with pride. Then the sails appeared. At first, they were only shadows on the horizon, white wings floating on the sea. The strangers came with smiles, bows, and gifts. They spoke softly. They laughed loudly. They promised wealth without loss. They did not ask for souls at first. Only criminals. Only enemies. Only the defeated. Zabiru refused. For years, he refused. He sent the traitors away. He warned other kings. He believed Africa could stand alone. Then the rain stopped. The crops died. Hunger crept in quietly. And neighboring kingdoms, now armed with European guns, began attacking Canberra's borders. Each invasion whispered the same cruel message: adapt or perish. The traitors returned. This time, they waited patiently. They knew desperation always speaks louder than pride. Just a few, they said. Only captives of war, they said. Your people will never be touched, they said. Zabiru closed his eyes and agreed. That night, 50 people were taken. Not numbers. People. Men who had sung in the fields. Women who carried children on their backs. Children who did not understand why their mothers were crying. Gold arrived days later. Guns followed. Canberra survived another season. And something inside the king died quietly. The trade did not stop. It never does. What began as survival became habit. Habit became dependence. Dependence became hunger for more. Villages disappeared. Drums went silent. People learned not to ask questions. Zabiru stopped walking among his people. Fear replaced love. He told himself lies to survive the nights. I am saving my kingdom. This pain is necessary. The ancestors will understand. But the ancestors were watching. Years passed. The traitors demanded more. Stronger bodies. Younger blood. Skilled hands. No longer enemies. His people. When elders spoke, he silenced them. When priests warned him, he ignored them. When his own sister fell to her knees and begged him to find her missing son, Zabiru turned away. A king cannot afford weakness. Then came the day that broke him. A European captain arrived with unusual respect. His voice was calm. His smile thin. He brought a gift. A chained young man. When the chains were removed, the world stopped. Zabiru recognized the scar on the boy's cheek. The one from childhood. From laughter. From innocence. Prince Sadiq. His son. His blood. His future. Captured by enemies. Sold. Traded. Reduced to cargo. Zabiru fell from his throne. He begged. He offered gold, land, anything. The captain refused. Once men become merchandise, the captain said softly, even kings cannot protect their own. Sadiq was dragged away. He did not scream. He did not fight. He only looked back once. That look destroyed Zabiru forever. The king tried to undo everything. He shut the ports, burned warehouses, threatened traitors. He screamed at the gods. But betrayal has momentum. The Europeans turned their weapons toward him. They armed his enemies. They whispered rebellion into the ears of his generals. His cousin Malik, whom he trusted like a brother, accepted their promise of power. At dawn, Canberra burned. No one defended the king. When Zabiru was dragged through the streets in chains, no one spat. No one cursed. No one cried. Silence followed him to the coast. At the port, he saw them. Thousands of Africans. Broken. Starving. Crying for names that would never answer. Then he heard a voice singing. A royal song. Sadiq. Father and son met eyes one last time. The prince spoke only once. Now you feel what they felt. King Zabiru was sold that same day. History does not record where he died. His crown disappeared. His kingdom collapsed. His bloodline ended without honor. And this story repeats across Africa. Kings who traded their people lost their power. Kingdoms weakened. Trust vanished. And when Africa was empty and divided, the same traders returned not as merchants, but as rulers. Colonization followed slavery. The final truth is the hardest. Africa was not only chained by outsiders. It was broken when leaders chose survival over humanity. This is not a story of hatred. It is a story of warning. A leader who sells his people sells himself. The debt may be slow, but it is always collected. History never forgets betrayal.